They fell that year. They vanished from the earth, never knowing the cause, all condemned by their birth. Lyrics to They Fell by Charles Aznavour. This song tells a story about how the Armenians were slaughtered between 1915 and 1916. It's a harrowing tale of the simple disgustingness of genocide. The media also tried to make the Armenian genocide enter the public consciousness, but they failed. According to Jessica L. Taylor in her thesis, Through the Eyes of the Post, the forgotten genocide was shockingly well covered by the Washington Post at the time. There were 180 articles written between 1915 and 1916 alone. However, this and other press coverage ultimately failed to lead to a congressional mandate for an Armenian country. And then, coverage just stopped, leading to a collective forgetting. So using media accounts to inform does not help an event enter the public consciousness. So instead of using secondary sources like articles, today we use art to explore and understand the Armenian genocide and the 44-Day War. According to Arshil Gorky, Armenian fine artist, art is a form of language used to express the ideas for our time. And according to a personal interview with Jacqueline Kachaturian on March 23, 2022, art is particularly necessary to understand the Armenian genocide, since the Ottoman Empire destroyed historic Armenian art pieces. Because even they knew it's art that stores our history. So maybe, just maybe, if we use Armenian art, we can finally make the genocide enter the public consciousness. To that end, we must examine 4 different types of artwork to fully understand the impact of the forgotten genocide. The University of Minnesota Holocaust and Genocide Studies program provides a perfect framework to understand a genocide through art. First, public memorial art. Second, art created by perpetrators. Third, art created by victims and survivors. And fourth, art created by witnesses. Now, you don't remember an article you read 20 minutes ago, but you might just remember a piece of art you saw 20 years later. Let's start with public memorial art. Here, we have Silence by Mario Mutusyan, consisting of 150 handmade red paper tulips in a circle around the statue of Komitas, who's actually a main symbol of the Armenian genocide in art. Each flower is growing from a piece of stone, which according to Mukhtusyan symbolizes the constant struggle that us Armenians go through in the fight for our own existence. The color red was chosen to symbolize the blood shed by Armenians during the genocide and now the 44-Day War. The stones highlight both the struggle we have for our survival, but also how we can grow into something beautiful despite coming from something lifeless. No matter the obstacle, no matter the amount of people that just strive to erase us, Armenians will continue to grow. This piece is focused backward and forward, the stone showing an old, long-lasting history of hard strife, and the tulips showing beauty and growth. People have tried, but they will never succeed in making the Armenians disappear. And like tulips from stone, we will continue to blossom from the hardest of times. Time to move on to art created by perpetrators, also known as propaganda. This piece of propaganda is a little different. This is a photograph of Azeri President Haydar Aliyev walking down their so-called military trophy park. Each of those helmets belonged to an Armenian soldier that was killed during the 44-Day War. So not only did they just slaughter these young men, but also humiliated them by stripping them from their gear only to display them so other people can just walk down and admire this gear, stained with Armenian blood. This artwork in itself acts as a constant reminder that Armenians aren't human. They're animals to be hunted, and their horns should just be shown off for everyone to see. Dehumanization through artwork is a not so subtle method of continuing the persecution of the Armenians. Now, let's focus on art created by victims and survivors. People who firsthand experienced the torture and torment they had to endure for decades. Here is The Red Mask by Leon Tutunjan, who fled the Armenian genocide when he was only 17 years old. Again, we see the color red, symbolizing the bloodshed by Armenians. And if we take a closer look, we can see the face isn't quite normal. According to Leon Tutunjan, the mouth is tense, the teeth are shaky, the frozen and lifeless eyes seem blind, the flesh is blackening and rotting, painfully transfixed by slender struts. All this depicts fear. Fear that every single Armenian felt during the genocide, during the 44-day war, and still feels today. Also, the mask is being held by thin wooden rods, symbolizing the weakness of the support that was given to the Armenians during their times of struggle. The mountain-like shape represent Mount Ararat and Mount Masis, showing that even if we are pushed away from our land, stripped from our culture, it will always be a part of us, and therefore we will never forget it. This is exactly what Leon Tutunjan wants us to remember about the Armenian genocide and now the 44-day war. The fact that even if our land just ceases to exist and is taken by our enemies, our culture, language, music, and art will always be in our memories and therefore will never be destroyed. That's why I chose to review artwork today instead of articles. It's our culture, music, and art that will help change the minds of those who just wish to see us dead, or those who don't even know our struggle. Moving on to my final point, art created by witnesses. However, instead of showing you 1 or 2 paintings, I present you with my art, the speech. I am a witness of the genocide. I am a witness of the 44-day war. I am a witness of the constant struggle that Armenians go through just to remain in the memory of the rest of the world. What do I want you to take away from this speech? The fact that all these pictures are telling you a story from different perspectives, a story that just needs to be remembered. We all know witnesses as people who have firsthand experience with tragedy, but third-party witnesses are people who have firsthand experience with the consequences of that tragedy. And guess what? By that definition, we are all witnesses. Every single person in this room is now a witness. You've read the articles. Well, at least the extempors have. You've heard the news, and now you've seen the art. Witnesses are crucial when it comes to keeping something memorable. Today, I showed you 4 types of artwork. Public memorial art, art created by perpetrators, art created by victims and survivors, and art created by witnesses. Famous Armenian poet Bayruit Sevag once said, "Gank, bidi linենք ու թեր շատանանք." We exist. We will continue to exist and grow bigger. During the Armenian genocide and the 44-day war, the media failed. But hopefully art can help us remember what the media just left behind. We will grow bigger, but only if we're not forgotten.